you love to play. Oh, you love to play. Don't your comments won't relay. Sign this on my page for you. Oh my God, he changed. Young life, I can't see back karma. I just need some brains so I could keep myself in order.
He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time and welcome back to the random DM part 2. I didn't think this was gonna be 2 parts, but here we are. So he was like, I'm on my way. Alright. Well, as I said in a previous story, don't do what I do. Be better than me. But I got scared because, again, we're coming up to the 6-month mark. And the previous year, because it was like we dated, it was going good for 6 months, and you dumped me. I kind of gave you some leeway because, I'm in a different city. You're in a different city. It's a long distance situation, and everybody don't do long distance good. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt when it comes down to that. But when I get back in town, everything is going good. It's going good for 6 months. And you was like, you deserve better. And lo and behold, you interested in somebody else, and then you lied about it. But it's at a 6-month point. And every time we get to the 6-month point situation, like, it's like you start off your patterns, like you're doing the same thing, and it's like, you're not about to dump me again, little buddy. Like, you can just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. If I'm not what you want, leave me alone. It's simple. So it was coming up to that, and it's like, I'm literally in the focus of, I'm trying to get my life together, I'm trying to get school going, I'm trying to make this money, I'm tired of being in a certain situation. So like, yeah, like I'm trying to change my life around, like I just got out of jail. I'm trying to do better. We doing this for little Saint. So it's like, at this point, you're doing the same thing. So before we even get to that point, before we even like go through the same routine, let me just end it. That's how I saw it. When I should have said basically like, what's up? Because if you're doing the same thing, if you're going about this the same way, we need to just go ahead and end this now, which is what I should have done. But I didn't. So here we are. I told him like there was somebody else, and they knew about him. He didn't know about them. Lies, child, I didn't want nobody else. I just knew, like, I pay attention to people, so I knew, like, you didn't like cheating, you didn't like nobody messing with your kids, and you didn't like nobody messing with your money. So I've never met your daughter. I don't really play with your money like that. You knew that would be odd because I've never done that. So, cheating. That was my way out. That's what I thought. So, anyway, yeah. So, he was like, he was on his way. So, he didn't come over that night. He came over the next day. So, he didn't show up that night after school. So, the next day, I went to work. And when I went to work, like, he didn't text, he didn't call, he didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything either. So literally it was like, it's whatever. Maybe you calm down, maybe you find somebody else. I don't know. I don't care. In my mindset, it's like, I want something better. I want something more as far as redoing my life. And I ain't got time for these games. It's like, either you in this or you're not. Because it's like, I've been down for you while you've been doing this clothing line thing that you've been starting from the ground up. Either you with me or you not. Like, it's literally that simple for me. Like, I'm tired of the runaround. I'm tired of the back and forth. Make up your mind. Anyway, so did you text? Did you call? No. Yes. No. So continued out the work week, haven't heard from you, and I haven't said nothing either. So that weekend, you finally say something. So you hit me up on text and was like, hey, are you busy? And I was like, no, what's up? And so he was like, oh, okay, I want to come over and talk. So I was like, oh, okay. So it was a Saturday, and Ty was home. Yeah, Ty was home. So when you came in, of course, Ty ran to you because Ty is used to seeing you. Ty is calling you dad. So he ran to you, y'all did y'all greeting type situation, and Ty went back in his room. And so you looked at me, you did your hair like this for us to go in the room instead of being in the living room. So we went in the room. And when we went in the room, you saw, because I had my books like on my dresser, because it was like time you walked into my room, like my dresser was like cat-a-corner by the door. And so you saw the books. And so he was like, oh, you're really in school. And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, why didn't you tell me you was starting school? And I was like, I never operate like that. I never tell anybody what I'm doing. I was like, I always just maneuver. I always just operate. And he was like, but that would be something to tell me. And I was like, really? I don't recall you saying anything about starting a clothing line until you needed help with the clothing line. And so he was like, oh, okay, yeah, touche. You right. I see what you're doing. I see what you're saying. He was like, so tell me about this other dude. And I was like, I already told you there is no other dude. He was like, yeah. Once I calmed down and I went back through the text message, he was like, that don't make sense. And if there was another dude, he was like, I'm always over here. I'm always around you. Like, dude would be very stupid to, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm with her or whatever. He was like, because I'm always over here. No, you're not. And I was like, you're always over where? He was like, oh, I'm always over here. Like, I'm always over here. And I was like, you're not always over here. And he was like, yes, I am. And I was like, no. And I was like, the weekend, yeah. And I was like, but during the week, we don't see you. And so he was like, I thought you said that there is nobody else. And I said, there is nobody else. I was like, but I'm just saying, like, if we're going to sit here and be for real, we're going to sit here and be honest, we're going to be honest. You're not here all the time. I see you on the weekend. He was like, okay, yeah. All right, so you want to break up with me? Like, you want to, and I was like, again, you were starting to do the same thing that you did when every time it gets to 6 months, here we are, like, you pull away, you get distant, you go quiet. I don't know what's going on. You don't respond to text messages. You don't respond to phone calls. I ain't got time. So at this point in time, I'm trying to focus on Angel and change Angel's life, because I need to do better for me and my kid. So either you're with me or you're not. And I was like, and I don't have time for the back and forth. And so he was like, I don't understand, like, why you felt like you needed to lie. And I said, again, either I'm going to dump you before you dump me. You already dumped me twice. We already been through this. So let me end it. I said, so is the issue that I ended it and you didn't? And he was like, well, what makes you think I'm going to end it? Again, you are doing the same thing that you have done previous. Your patterns are showing. You're not saying anything. You're not showing up. You're not responding to text messages. You're not responding to phone calls. Like, I have no idea what's going on. And I'm not with the games. I'm not with the bull. I'm not with the back and forth. We could just stop. And so he was like, I don't understand just why you felt like you need to lie to me. And I was like, okay, so we're going in circles now. I already just said that. If you don't want to, I said, it's just simple for me. If you don't want to be with me, leave me alone. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. I want to be with you. I want to be with you. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain. So, as I was growing up, me, my mom, and my brother, we moved around every 6 months. So, every 6 months, it's like, like, I feel away. I feel away. And then it was like my mom left. So, we was moving every 6 months then. I said, okay, I understand. And so he was like, no, I'm for real. I said, no, for real. I understand. I said, I know what childhood trauma can do to an adult. I've had childhood trauma. And I was like, but at this point in time, I'm asking you, because now that you realize that I've noticed that it's the issue, either you're going to work on it, either we're going to do something, or leave me alone. Nah, we're going to work on it. Okay. So you end up spending like the weekend. So we're back to normal, having a good time. It's whatever. So I give it 2 weeks, y'all. And you started doing the same thing again. So this time it was like, I'm not saying shit. I'm just going to let you disappear. Well, lo and behold, while I'm at work, I start bleeding. And I'm bleeding from my cookie snatch. And so I'm like, it's not time for my period. What's going on? And so I was like, maybe, like, because at this point in time, it was like, maybe it's, just like a spotting, maybe it's a spotting type situation. Let me, maybe it'll go away. So I always carry tampons in my purse for emergency. I carry like 1 or 2 just in case, because when I was on depot, it used to be in between spotting. It would never be long. It would be out of the blue, but it was there. So I would, have tampons in my purse just in case. So I always carried them. So I was like, well, maybe it's just, spotting, which I never had on pills. So I was like, I'll just chop it up. And so like, the bleeding continued for a number of days, because I don't want to drag this out. The bleeding continued for a number of days. And so at men too, because I'm still working at the billing office, she was like, girl, you need to talk to a nurse because something is not right. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I called. She was like, I'm gonna, call. She called her office because I was scared. Like, I was literally scared to go to the doctor. And I was like, I just don't want to hear what they got to say. My thing was, I was thinking cancer-wise, nothing kid-wise, because I'm on pills. Depot has failed me. Pills, I know you got my back. So she called her office, and so was it her office or department of health? It might have been the health department. I think it might have been the health department. But either way, so whoever, she was like, here, talk to them. So I was talking to the nurse, and the nurse was like, she was asking me a series of questions. I was telling her, like, how long I've been bleeding. And so she was like, do you think that you're pregnant? And she was like, maybe that's, like, the implantation stage. And I was like, maybe. And I was like, because, like, she was like, are you on birth control? And so I was like, yeah, I take it faithfully. Like, time I wake up, going for work, I pop the pill in my mouth before my day gets started. And I said the only time that it's maybe not the same time is the weekend. But once I wake up, pop the pill in my mouth and, go. And so she was like, well, I mean, the thing to do would be to go to the doctor. She's like, there's no way anybody can help you over the phone, which is true. And so I was like, yeah, you're right. So I finally go to the doctor and then find out I'm pregnant. So it's like, because I don't I don't. It's like at this point in time, number one, I've never wanted children. But it's like at this point in time, like I'm trying to do better. I can barely afford this one kid who's giving me holy hell. Now I need to realize or think about a whole nother kid who has a disappearing father every 6 months. So at this point in time, I was like, okay, get it together. Get it together. So I reach out and say, hey, we need to have a conversation. He never responded. So I was like, okay, well, maybe he's working. So I sent a text message saying, hey, we really need to have a conversation. He never responded. Mind you, remember, we haven't talked. You disappeared like I said you was before I sent the text message. It was just basically you wanted to end it, and me ending it before you got to end it was the issue. So you never respond. And so I was like, okay. Okay. So I'm going through the motions. Didn't tell nobody that I was pregnant. Didn't say nothing. Just going through the motions. Literally going through the motions. My 3rd month, second month, middle of 2nd month, I woke up in pain, went to the toilet, like not thinking, you know what I'm saying, like not thinking nothing bad. Like I just went to the toilet because it was like, okay, I gotta pee, or maybe it's just something wrong with my stomach. But like went to the toilet, used the bathroom, wiped. Sorry if it's TMI, but and there was blood everywhere. So I looked in the toilet, and then it's like all these clumps and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So I knew that I was losing the baby. So it was like, sat on the toilet, waited till I felt like everything was gone, everything was out, and made an appointment. Called to make an appointment, but the place that I chose, they was like, we wouldn't be able to get you in until I think like 2 weeks later, because I would have been a new patient. And so they was like, just go to the ER. So I went to the ER to get cleaned out. Never said nothing. Never said nothing. Like never said nothing. So again, we're still not talking. I'm going through this by myself. I didn't even tell it meant to until later. No, I didn't tell it meant to I was pregnant. I let it meant to think that like the miscarriage happened with the bleeding. I ain't tell nobody nothing. Nothing. It's crazy. But so like months go by and I still haven't talked to him, haven't heard from him, nothing. So I'm talking to the dude who I asked to buy Ty a football. We're having this conversation, so we would always ask, like, because he was married, so he would come and ask. He was like, so if I do this for my wife, or if I did this, why is my wife upset? Like, we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we would bounce stuff off each other. And so he was in my office, and so I was like, let me ask you a question. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, let's say like we were in a relationship and we stopped talking. And I was like, but when we stop talking, I find out like I'm pregnant. And I was like, but then I lose the baby. Would you want to know, or should I move forward? And so he was like, as a man, I would want to know. And I was like, but there's no baby. And he was like, I know. He was like, but as a man, I would want to know. So I'm going back and forth in my head. It was like, should I tell this man? But then on the other hand, it's like, this ninja left you hanging. Why would you want to say something to him? Why would you want to tell him he left you hanging? Girl, good riddance. God cleared you. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? But it just kept bothering. It kept bothering me. And then even like right after the miscarriage, like I had a dream that night. Like I was in this place and it was white everywhere. Maybe it could have been the food. I don't know. But it was white everywhere. And I'm standing at this counter and I'm holding this baby. And this person comes up. It was a lady. She was absolutely gorgeous. Like she had this bronze skin. She was dressed in all white. She was absolutely beautiful. And she took the baby out of my arms and said, it's not time yet. And when I woke up the next morning, I was just bawling. I was bawling in my bed. Just bawling. And it's so crazy because it's like, girl, you don't even want kids. You don't even want kids. But it was just a simple fact. Like the symbolism of me having a miscarriage and then having the dream that night. It was just crazy. And I don't know, it was just like bothering me. It was like, should I tell him? Should I say something? Like, you were quiet. Should I, you know what I'm saying? Like, should I let him know? I don't know. It was just bothering me. And so it had, at this point in time, like it had been a good little minute. I think it had been like 4 or 5 months. They might have been at the 6-month mark. And even during this time, because admin was laughing because it's not funny. Admin was laughing because she would ask about him, and I would be like, girl, I don't care nothing. I don't care nothing about that dude. I don't want to hear nothing about him. I don't want to see him. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for him. And I know he used to ride motorcycles, and I was like, I hope he have an accident on a motorcycle and break his leg. And she was like, stop saying that. And I was like, oh my God, y'all. But anyway, I was battling, going back and forth with, should I tell this man? Should I not? Should I just leave it alone? God has given me like this clear path. You are clear for takeoff. Why are you landing? And so, like, again, we haven't talked. We haven't said anything. So this one particular morning, like, I switching phones because during this time, again, I'm with Sprint, but y'all, we didn't have to, what do you call it? You didn't have to pay for phones like we have to pay for phones every month now. You didn't have to pay for phones. All you had to do was agree to a 2-year contract, a year or 2 years, something like that, and you can upgrade. You can get a new phone. And so it was this one phone that I wanted. I was always upgrading because it was like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be with Sprint. And my mama used to be like, Angel. Because I used to be on this song was on my mama's account. Yeah. And so she was like, Angel, like, was it on my mama's account this time? No. Because I was with Sprint by myself. My mom was on Verizon. When I was with her, she was on Verizon. Because she got a discount. Yeah. So no, but she was basically saying like, Angel, like my mom was very adamant about like finances. And then she was helping me too. So it was like, stop making decisions like impulsive decisions out of anger. And I tell my son this because my son is impulsive. And I was like, I used to be like that. And the only person you're hurting is yourself. Like you're hurting your own bank account. You putting yourself, like if you putting yourself in the negative, like you already spent the money before you got it. Like you're not getting ahead. But anyway, so I was like, I'm not kicking out any money. Like I'm just signing a new contract. Cause every time she turned around, she would be like, you got another phone. Yeah. But anyway, so like during that time, the transfer stuff wasn't as simple and up to date as it is now, it was like you had to literally put in numbers. So I had removed his number out of my phone. So I'm going through my phone like, who is this? Who is this? So I'm texting people like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Not thinking like to look through a thread or whatever. So I was like, who is this? And so, because I still have the same number, he was like, so you're going to act like you don't know who this is? Just say you missed me. And I was like, who is this? And so you called. And when I answered, he was like, so really, you don't know who this is? And I knew his voice. And I was like, oh, no, I got a new phone. And so he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I didn't want nothing. Like, I was just trying to figure out who these people was and who I need to send the number to. I mean, I was just trying to figure out who people was. And so he was like, oh, okay, cool. And so he was like, well, how you been? I was like, oh, I'm okay. And so he was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, it's been a long time. He was like, I was in a motorcycle accident. And I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. He was like, are you really? And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, well, what's been going on with you? How's Ty? How's everything? And I was like, oh, I'm fine. Ty's good. And he was like, why are you being so short with me? And I was like, I said, in that accident, did you hit your head? And so he was like, what? And I was like, in the accident, did you hit your head? Because, huh? And so he was like, no, like I had the accident and, things was just moving crazy and I ain't have time I was like, listen, I don't want to hear the lies anymore. Just leave me be. And I was like, in all actuality, I'm going through the list and finding out who these people are. I said, I shouldn't even text unknown numbers. Like, if literally you wasn't in my phone, I removed your name. So it was just like a number, and I was just trying to figure out who the number was. And I was like, and I shouldn't have texted you. And he was like, dang, it's like that? And I was like, yeah, it's like that. And so he was like, what did I do to you, like, to make you feel like you shouldn't talk to me at all? Like never. And I was like, bruh. And I was like, you're making it seem like we agreed that you was gonna disappear. I said, you forgot we agreed like we were gonna work on it, and then you disappeared. I said, so basically it was like I said, you were getting ready to leave. You were getting ready to do your same 6-month bye. Where's Waldo? He was like, no, I told you, like, I was in an accident. I was like, right, so you were in an accident, and so you didn't think, oh, let me call my girlfriend. Or you called your girlfriend. Oh, here we go. I said, listen, I have gone back and forth in my mind. I've even asked somebody, should I say this? And I was like, but I'm going to clear the air right now. I was like, when you left, I was pregnant. I lost the baby, and I didn't say anything. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. Let's just move forward. And I hung up. He didn't say anything. Went on about my business. All this time has passed by. I have finished school. Did I finish school? No. I'm in the middle of school. This time has passed by, and I'm getting close to I'm getting close to finishing school. So Ty is going to live with my mom, and I'm sleeping in my car. My school, I think school was 8 months. Was school 8 months? I think school was 8 months. If I'm not mistaken, I think school was 8 months. I think it was 8 months. Yeah. But anyway, I had already quit the billing office. finished school, step in my car to finish school, looking for a new gig, and I'm going back and forth, sleeping sleeping in my car. So the school ended up helping me find a job. Real talk. So I ended up getting a job. My first job as a MA officially was at a dermatology practice. That was my first job. And I was sleeping in the back seat of my car. I was driving back and forth still to my mama on the weekend. And my mom was getting worse during my intern. I think I told that part. I don't know if I did or not. But my mom was getting worse during my intern. My mom was getting worse during my intern. So, because the doctor, I think I said that in a vlog when me and Ty was doing Raising Cane's. But the doctor that I was working for in my intern was like, go check on your mom. And so I was going back and forth when I started working. So when I started working, like I would work during the week, and on the weekends I would go and go home on the weekends and help out. And I started noticing things then. So yeah, but I was planning to buy a house. So I had already started the process, because it was like, oh, I'm gonna get me a house and I'm gonna get stuff together. I'm gonna get out my car. Like literally, the man was coming to my job and I was filling out paperwork. I was gonna get me a house, because literally at this time, like the housing market, like it had already crashed, so houses was really, really cheap. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get me a house. And then my mom got sick. So anyway, before I even finished school, yeah, he reached out. Before I finished school, he reached out. And he was like, I miss you. I want to talk to you. And he was like, and I think we have things to discuss. This is months later, y'all. Months later. But it was before I finished school. And so I was like, I don't think we have anything to talk about. And so he was like, we do. We have stuff to talk about, especially about the baby. I really want to get my feelings off about the baby. And I was like, all right. And it was just crazy, because it was like, I don't understand why you feel the need to talk about the baby now. I don't know. But I blocked a lot of this stuff out. And this is my first time talking about it, so sorry if this is like kind of all over the place. So I was I think at this time, like, where was I? Hold on, y'all. So I had made the decision. Like, this was when I made my decision. Like, I was completely getting off. I was like, I'm not taking any more birth control, and I was making a decision to be celibate. And he had reached out. And so he was like, I want to meet up and I want to talk. And I was like, oh, okay. And this was during the middle of the week too. And it was right after I made the decision, because I made the decision to not be celibate. To be celibate and to get off birth control. Right before I went to watch night service. It was right before like the new year was going in. And this is when a particular, I don't need to tell that part. Sorry. But I made the decision to be celibate and to get off birth control, because it was like, there's no need for the birth control, because I'm not having sex. Like I need to, like, the baby really did a number on me. Like, really, really did a number on me. It really did. It really did a number on me. It really did. And it was like the dream. Like, it was just, I don't, no matter how much I tried to push the dream away, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just did a number on me. The baby, it did a number on me. So he wanted to talk. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. So we can meet up at Walmart. Y'all, we would meet up because when I lived at Gamer's house, and remember I told y'all, like, I would drive when I was working at the billing office, and I would drive an hour to gift this house. I'm trying. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, so remember when I told y'all that I would drive an hour? It made sense for me to drive from Gamer's house to Gifted's house, and then drop. By the time I got to Gifted's house or in that area, it was time for me to drop Ty off from school. He was able to, sleep on the way, so he was able to get a nap, and then I would go to her house and sleep till it was time for me to go to work. So during that time, like, I was trying to make it work before he disappeared again. I was trying to make it work. So it was like after work, I would meet him at Walmart, and he would have me sit for like 30 minutes, sometimes to an hour, and be like, oh, babe, I can't make it. Or he not show up. And it's like me and my kid are sitting there, and it's like we have an hour commute back to our side. I need to feed my kid. Like, I was trying to make it work because he was like, you're not able to spend time with me because you're an hour away, and we only able to see each other during the weekends. And so when I moved in my apartment and I moved on that side of town, I still wasn't seeing you during the week, doing this next spiel. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I was like, when you started doing that, because I have a place, I'm on the side of town, you have no excuse. So anyway, after I told you and I was like, you don't owe me nothing, I don't owe you nothing, like, let's just end it here. And then you reached out. I had already made the decision, because I know that's choppy. I had already made the decision to be celibate and to get off birth control, because I made the decision, like, I'm not having sex. Like, losing the baby did something to me. His name was Justin. Losing Justin did something to me. I know y'all are like, girl, how would you, y'all, that dream, I'm telling y'all, the dream. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, he wanted to meet up and talk. So I was like, okay, yeah, you can meet me at Walmart. So I had went to Bible study, and then after Bible study, because I was like, it's gonna be a minute, and so he was like, it's fine, no matter, no matter the time, it's fine. Y'all, when I told this man, like, I was like, hey, I'm at Walmart. When I told you, you were already there, like, you pulled up early. Because I was thinking in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna go in Walmart and kill time because you're always late. You pulled up early. Hopped out of your car, and was like, Angel. And I'm looking at you sideways because you were always late. This last time, like, you were always late. So I was like, you're early. He was like, huh? No, you told me, like, this time, like, you told me. And I was like, yeah, you're usually always late. So I was going to get some stuff. And so he was like, oh, yeah, come on, let's get some stuff. So go in, I get the few things that I wanted. I, went and sat in the car. And so I was like, what's up? And so he was like, how you been? You look great. Thanks. What's up? And so he was like, okay, let's talk about the baby. Let's talk about the baby. And I was like, in all actuality, I really don't want to talk about the baby. I really don't want to talk about the baby. I don't. And I was like, but me as a person, like, I feel like I can't deny your feelings. Like I at least need to hear your feelings out. So I'm gonna give you that. So he spilled out his feelings, apologized for not being there, said how, like, you know, the motorcycle accident messed him up, and like going all into this schmeal of what happened. And he was like, I think, you know, like, we should try again. And I was like, I think we shouldn't. We should. And he was like, you're serious? And I was like, yeah, I'm serious. He was like, all right, okay. So he got out, he left, and I'm going on about my business. So during this time, what has happened? Because I want to skip over some stuff. During this time, this is when Ty was at my mom's and I was in the city trying to find work again. I think so. But this was also like she had gotten worse and she had kicked Ty out. So, and Gifted was like, you can't come back, because Gifted was like in a whole different place. She was like, I can't do you and Tyler. I could only like help you. So I reached out to Wildin' Out. Me and Wildin' Out Wildin' Out had a place in our hometown. Excuse me. So she was like, you can go there. So that's where we went. And we were there for a good little minute. And while I was there, we went back and forth from Wildin' Out's place to my mom's place, because my mom ended up moving to a whole different state after certain things happened. Yeah. But while we were at the house with that Wildin' Out had let us stay in, so you reached out. You reached out, and I was like, is everything okay? You found me on Facebook. And so he was like, I've been looking for you. And so he was like, I knew I would be able to find you here. So he gave me his number in the DM. At the time, it was called Messenger. It wasn't called Messenger. It was called DM, I think. I don't know. Y'all, I'm trying, because that baby shit really messed me up. Anyway, you reached out. So when you reached out, and I was like, what's up? And so he was like, give me your number, we need to talk. And I was like, about what? About what? And he was like, no, we need to talk. No, seriously, Angel, we really need to talk. And so he was like, I've been doing some soul searching. Like, I had a lot of things going on. My mom died. And I had never met his mom. I've never met anybody in your family. You've met my cousin. You met my cousin's wife. You met my son. At this point in time, no, you haven't met Mintu yet. But you like, it was like you met people in my family. They know you. They know about you. They know your face. Your family don't know nothing about me. So when you said your mom died, I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry for your loss. And I've been dealing with, like, you know, the lawsuit and stuff, dealing with the stuff about my mom. It's just been a lot going on. And God spoke to me, and it's like, you're the woman for me. And I was like, I'm not the woman for you. I'm celibate. I'm not the woman for you. I'm celibate. I'm really chilling. Like, I'm just minding my business. Like, I had made the decision. Like, it's like, I don't want to be bothered. At this point in time, like, I had been celibate for like 3 years. No contact, no nothing. Like, I'm chilling. And that dude said, when I told him that, he was like, yeah, because you've been waiting on me. What? Yeah. So, like, we was talking and texting or whatever. But it really didn't go anywhere because, of course, like, I'm not in the city. I'm nowhere near in the city. He was like, I'm going to wait from you. And when I finally moved back, did I reach out to him right away? I did not. I did not let anybody know, like, I was back in the city. I was literally trying to maneuver and try to get things together. Oh, my God. Or did I? Hold on. I think I did. Oh my God. When I got back in the city, I did reach out to him because he broke my celibacy. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna edit it out because I'm not doing part 3. Yeah, because he broke my celibacy. So he because oh my God, like he had planned this date. He did. He had planned this date. And he got all this stuff. He went all out. He got drinks, he got flowers, he got all this stuff. He had decorated like the hotel room, like he had the balloons or whatever, and like literally like we went to dinner, we went to the movies, and he was literally like during, and that was the thing, like during sex it was like I repeatedly asked myself, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he could tell, like, my head wasn't there. Because he kept saying, Angel. He was like, I belong to you. I belong to you. He wasn't saying, I belong to you. He was saying, this is your... He was like, I belong to you. And I couldn't, like, my mind, I could not get into it. I promise you I could not get into it. And he got pissed off. Did he break... I mean... He got pissed off because it was like, I can't do this. Like, I really wasn't into it. And he got pissed off and he was like, okay, well, let me take you home. And he took me home. Oh, my God. He took me home. Anyway, so, okay, we getting there to the random DM because it's called the random DM. This is so choppy. And I do not want to make this 3 parts because it's already been long. We gonna end it. Anyway, so yeah, so months go by again. Months go by. And we are moving. Me and Ty moved to the condo. And things are starting to pick up because I found a good job. Like literally, like things are starting to fall into place because where I was, actually they were evicting me. My homegirl who I went to school with gave me that place because I ain't had no place to stay. They had, oh my God. Me and Ty got kicked out of the place from that Wildin' Out had let us stay in by her grandmother. That's a whole nother story. Anyway. Oh my God. Yeah, so we had got kicked out. We was in one place, so the homegirl that I went to school with ended up giving me that place because I had put it out on Facebook. I was like, me and my kid need a place to stay. So we were in that place for a good 5 months, and I think at like the 5-6 month mark, it was an eviction notice on the door, and I had just got a job. And so she was like, I can't hold my husband off no more because her husband was like the manager / owner. So yeah, and we end up moving. I had just got a job and I was getting paid every week. So I had got a job as a PCT, but I was getting paid every week. This is when I was working like an hour away from Top Boy. Y'all. So, okay. Yeah. So we end up moving into the condo. So when we moved into the condo, he reached out again, and it had been like 6 months from that incident. It had been like 6 months. It was always a 6 month interval. And so he was like, I want to put everything on the table. I want to work everything out. I want to, like we're going to put everything on the table. So he comes and he was like, okay, so during the time when I kept disappearing, I was living with my aunt. I really didn't have any money, and I was like, well, that was obvious because I was helping you with the clothing line. So most of the time you was broke, and then sometimes you would like your truck wasn't working or you couldn't get your truck fixed, so you would take me to work and then take my car. That was dumb. But I won't say, like, truth be told, he wasn't, like, when it was time to pick me up from work, Jody was on time. Jody was on time, and I'm not even gonna front, he was at work, because you worked at, you know what I'm saying, like, the complex. So I knew he was at work because his boss was a hater. His boss wanted me. So his boss would be like, yep, he was here, and if he wasn't, he would tell me. Because you didn't want us together anyway, because you wanted me. Because when he cheated on me with another girl in the complex, he was like, I told you he wasn't no good, and I told you should have been with me. Like, oh my God. Anyway, so listen. Yeah, so we're in the condo. You want to put everything on the table. And that's when you was telling me, like, you really didn't have any money. You were staying with your aunt. You didn't have a house. And what was the other thing? You was telling me, like, the situation about your mom dying and how you was trying to start a lawsuit with that because of the stipulation of how she passed away. And so he was like, I want to try things again. Because at this time, like, I had moved forward. And I was talking to somebody, like, we had just started. I had just started with a little but I was interested in him. Like, I was digging him. And I even had a conversation with him because his plans was, my past boyfriend, his plans was for us to, he was like, I know you tired of raising Tyler by yourself. I know you tired of paying the bills by yourself. He was like, and I'm getting ready to move I'm getting ready to move out of state. I'm getting ready to move out of state. And I want you to come with me. You don't ever have to work. You don't have to do nothing. Like, the only thing I ask you to do is marry me. And y'all, in all honesty, at this point in time, I was thinking about it. I promise you, I was thinking about it. I was going to say yes. And I wanted to be honest with my little that I had started with. So I asked him a question. He literally said, like, he broke that thing down so clear. And it wasn't even on like, I want to mess it up because of what we got going on. It was literally like conversation, like, I'm talking to you as your friend right now. Forget what we do. I'm talking to you as your friend right now. And everything he said makes sense. It made sense. It was like, why all of a sudden you're popping up? Why all of a sudden now you want marriage? Why all of a sudden he want to move you away from the help that you do have now? Why all of a sudden, like, he was like, none of this is making sense. And I was like, I'm tired. Y'all, I was tired. It was the simple thing. It was like, I don't have to work anymore. And he was like, I can't tell you what to do. He was like, but you asked me and you being honest with me because I appreciate that. And he hung up. So I was like, okay, so if we're putting everything on the table, let's try. I was like, let's see where it can go for 3 months because you wasn't moving yet. I was like, let's see how long we can go for 3 months. Y'all, the very month, I gave it a week. That dude called me and was like, I didn't put everything on the table. I have a son. At this point, don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. Because you can't even be honest. Like, this is toxic. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. Don't call me no more. And then, like, it was like he kept switching cars. And then he started talking about how much money he have. And I can just, oh my God, it was horrible. So anyway, years later, I had went to see my mom. My mom has kind of digressed. And I went to see my mom for Thanksgiving. Me and Ty went and spent Thanksgiving with my mom and my sister. At this point in time, we're living with Amber. And I come home and we're talking, like laughing, catching up or whatever. And at this point in time, this is when I find out that Facebook, remember it had DMs, but at this point in time, it had the little folder, other. This is years later after I was like, we're toxic. We're not talking anymore. Let's leave it alone. Please, let's not talk anymore. Y'all, please, I'll go and look in the other folder. And you're in the folder with your number saying, call me. Did I call him? No. Because I'm about to end this story. This story is all over the place. That baby shit fucked me up. Sorry, y'all. No, I did not call him. I messaged back and said, why do I need to call you? And so he was like, call me and find out. And I was like, what is it? Tell me whatever you need to tell me in this message right now. And he said, never mind. And I never heard from him again. The random DM. Y'all, I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one. That baby shit fucked me up. Sorry, y'all.